Hi there. We are going to do a really simple tutorial on Flowdesk today. It is one of my favorite email tools to use mostly because I love visual things. Like I like things to be pretty, or it doesn't have to be pretty. I just like the aesthetics of something looking beautiful. And this is one of the main features of Flowdesk, in my opinion. It's super easy to use, and I'm going to do a walkthrough for you. Um, this is for people that are brand new to it. Um, I will have a link down below if you choose to want to check it out. You can try it out. I will say that is an affiliate link, so I'm going to have full disclosure on that. However, they do have a great affiliate program. If you're in any of my programs, I'm a money mindset coach. So you know that, many streams of income is a good thing. So that's another plus for the platform. So let's dive into this. I'm going to share my screen and let's begin. So once you sign up for an account, your screen's not going to look quite like this because I've been using mine for a very long time. I'm not using a brand new one right now. I could have signed up under another email, but I wanted you to see it live and in action. So I'll try and do my best to avoid showing people's emails and all those things, but you can get a good idea of what it looks like and how I use it and the different features of it. So when you sign in first, there's a few things that are really important to do. And that is, you can want to hook in your email account and have it, let me just show you here. Go into overview. That's just going to, I'll just go through the different tags, sections with you. Put your email account in that you want your emails to come from, and your time zone, because you're going to be able to program things so that they can set off at a certain time. And you can reset your password here. The email setup, this is really, really important. And having this verified is really important because it's going to help your open rates. And it's just going to verify that you are a valid sender, and you're not going to end up as much in spam. Spam still does happen, and a lot of it depends on someone's filters. And it also depends on the type of content you're putting out there. If you're using really spammy stuff, well, you're going to end up with spam. But if you're doing things as authentically as possible, that'll eliminate some of that too. And they also have a checkout available on here. So if you wanted to sell some things on here, you can do that also. Now here's the piece, domain setup. Well, I haven't got mine set up. Oh, that was for the checkout piece of it. I thought I had it verified on here, but I guess I don't. I did test out their checkout piece for a while. It didn't work for what I needed. I have some very robust checkouts on my course platforms and a couple different areas in my background that I have. I have lots in there. So I haven't been using the checkout piece. I did check it out though, and it's very simple to use, very easy. Branding. Now here's a place where you can put your logo in. You can choose brand colors and choose your fonts. This is really great. So everything is aligned with your all your branding, company details, and the address. You have to have a valid address for that's one of the things to be able to send out email when you're doing larger amounts of email. It has to be a valid email address. That allows you to put your social links in here. So at the bottom of your emails, those can show up. And here's the footer, and it links to your referral plan if you're into that. And mine isn't, was it on? It was on. Okay, so we'll leave that on because I like that. Opt-in setup, if your different countries in the world require you to have the double opt-in email, you can do a thank you page. And this is, you have to know your country and where you are. Usually in Europe, you're going to have to use that double opt-in. It does slow down your opening, or people making it to your list fully, having that double opt-in. Integrations, you can hook in your Instagram account. So you'll see at the bottom of my emails, I have my Instagram coming in. You can use Pabbly, Pabbly and Zapier are really great. So like on my courses, if you sign up for one of my courses, I've used Zapier, which I'm just switching to Pabbly now, to link my course platform to Flowdesk so that when you sign up, all your emails there's a connection between the two, and that's what that means. And if you have a Shopify store, you can do that too. You can bring that in here. And you'll see when you build emails, you can actually bring in products from your Shopify account and link the two. Zapier's got a whole bunch of things already pre-built for you. And then your plan and billing. And this is, if I want to check out, I could add that in. I've already got my regular plan. I'm on an original plan of $19 a month because I had a 50% discount. And I believe when you sign up at this point using the affiliate link, you still get that 50% discount applied to your first year, I believe it is. And payment details, and these are my invoices. And if you want to share Flowdesk, yeah, see, here it is. Give your friends 50% off their first year of Flowdesk, and I get paid $19 when they join. So that is a really cool little benefit. And they give you things to help do that. So let's go back to Flowdesk, the main space. And across the top, there's some various things here. So I'm just going to walk you through those. First off, you have emails. Those are all the emails you've ever created. You have something called forms. Now, forms are like this. If you have to help build your list, you can use a freebie or a lead magnet, it's called. And there's some forms on here that you can actually build. And now, when you see this one over here on this side, where I don't have there's no pictures or anything, those are actually embedded into my website. So if you sign up on my website, this is just the link that will get you there. And that's going into my card funnel. And I have various different things that I have those forms for. So these are super easy. So we're just going to do a new one here, and I'll just show you. There's lots that you can actually just try. And you can get full page ones, like that was similar to what I used, right? And they're super easy to customize. The inline ones are exactly what I showed you before. Those get embedded onto my website. Pop-up ones are, again, heading over to your website. Now, a social form, these are fairly new on here, and I haven't tried using them myself yet, but they're basically getting people to your list. And oops, I'm gonna stop so you can see it. And it's just another way of adding value and getting people to your list. So let me just try and do one here, and you can see how this goes. It's super easy. Now, the first thing I want you to do is, what segment do you want this added to? Now, I'm going to use something that doesn't exist anymore, just because I'm going to use Mini B for a moment. That Mini B just is my own coding for something. And I'll show you how to set up your own list in a second. So all you need to do literally is click on this. They have an upload space where you can upload your own image, or you can use Unsplash, which they have thousands of pictures in here that you can use. It's really great. You just search in there for what you want. If I love giraffes. So if I just type in giraffes, I say, okay, I love this one here. This one's kind of cute. So we'll just do that. Often I just, like on mine, I have uploaded mine. I've built them in Canva and uploaded my own. You literally just click on this. You can change the wording. And you always want to use a really strong headline in here, in the space here. This is going to call out your audience and get them to jump into whatever you've got going on here. You get to choose your fonts. So if I wanted to use my own fonts that I've uploaded, they're at the very, very top. Your brand fonts are up there. So you can tell right away that doesn't look as well, does it? So if I just go back to something that's a little bit like, I have this one too that works really good. You can increase the size. You want this one a little bit bolder. You can align its centers, different sides. You can go all caps. You can, if you want it bold, you can just go here like that. They have this spacing down here. So you have line height, which this one, if you see, you can add space in between. And you can also add space in between the letters. when you're doing headlines like this, having a little bit of space in the letters actually helps the being able to process that and read it easily. Because if you have a whole bunch of stuff jarbled in there, it's really hard for people to, they're going to scroll right by. You need to stop the scroll and have them look at it. Now, this is where you're going to put, it's the same thing. You're going to put in a little bit more details about it. The first name, you get to choose these fields so you can adjust them as necessary here. You can choose your fonts, you can choose your styles on these. You have tons of different options here. This download button, now this is the key piece. You can change the color of your button. So if I put it into my branding, I could do that. And on this download piece, there's button sizing. So you could do like a full width one, which would make it really big, which stands out really well. Choose your font. It's all good. Now, if you go on to next, just bear with me as we walk through this. This is where if you have to do the double opt-in, you do that. You can get notified when someone subscribes to you too. I don't bother because I actually put through a lot of people through all my different offers and stuff like that. So I don't want to be notified with that many emails. Display success message. Now, here's the thing. I really like redirecting people to a URL. Now, this gets a little bit complicated. If you're not into that, you can just display a message that says thank you. Often I put people through to a different thank you page, depending on what I'm doing with my list. And then you would just put that in here. My thank you pages are held over on my website often, but if I just do a success message, we're just gonna let that go. Now here's where you can share your form. So if you've actually got this whole thing set up, you can actually, if you go over to like your Facebook page or you want to share it different places, this is what you would use for people to click on that. And then if you look at your live form, there you go. So now it's not going to let me do that because I'm not in there, but I want to go back because there's a couple things that you need to be able to do. Just going to go back and you just go back. As long as if you go forward all the way to the end and you don't turn it on, it'll still save everything and you can just go back. If you just go back and you haven't sort of gone forward on that page, you'll lose some of your stuff. So be mindful of that. I've done it a couple times. So if I go to here, I just want to go back to the design of this. If I go into here, if you want to have something linked to this, you can't, in this particular space, you can't actually have a download directly on here. But what's going to happen is they're going to go to your list. And that first email, you're going to build a sequence for them that says, welcome, here is the link for your freebie of whatever it is that you're going to give them. And I'll see if I can call up one of mine. So I'm going to exit out of here and go back to Flowdesk, the main part. So that's how forms work, okay? I'm going to, now what I want to do is I'm going to stop my screen share for a moment because I need to go into my audience section. Actually, what I'll do, hang on a sec here. It's going to come back out here because I need to go into my audience, but I really don't want to share my emails with people. So when you go into the audience, you're going to have all subscribers, customers, and segments. And I want to build a new segment. So I'm going to share my screen again. I'm being very mindful about not sharing my emails out there with people. Where'd my share screen go again? There we go. So when I have all these segments, so what a segment is you have your main email list and you can break it down into different segments, literally. So if you've joined my B program, I have a segment just for the people in that paid program. If you're on my upcoming, one of my upcoming workshops, there's a separate one for that. And you can see every one of these, I got a lot of them. I got 26 of them. Every one of my programs has its own segment. So let me just see if there's something that I don't use very often. And like my affirmation cards, I have 220 people have subscribed into my affirmation cards. Let's go into here. Let me just see, because there's nothing attached to that one right now. So that's money. So there's nobody in there. And all it is just it's a holding space, okay, for people to go into. So I'm going to go over to what's called workflows now. So you have your form. The first thing you need to do is set up your audience. I did it a little bit backwards on there. I was going across the top, but you actually need to build your audience piece first, because when you build your form, it's going to ask you, which one do you want? What segment do you want to attach it to? And you need to have a segment there, okay? But then we want to go into workflows. And this is what a workflow looks like. It looks a lot like that first page, right? But these are actually individual groupings of emails. So when you give somebody a freebie, you really want to nurture that audience. And so you're going to build a freebie or a workflow. And so let me just see if I can see the one for, if I had copied over that March one, I'm not sure. I have a lot of them. So this is in draft. This one might be, I don't like stopping them. I did a self-hypnosis audio collection. So let's just look at this one because it's stopped right now. And what you do, so this is what it looks like when you go into a workflow. First thing you're going to do is you need a trigger. What segment are you going to subscribe to? So if I did this and I did that, what was that mini B? Let's see. Actually, I don't want to trigger this one because it will send out emails to people, so I'm being mindful about that. So when a subscriber is added to that, this is what happens. And then I also want to, in my case, I wanted to add them to my general list. Typically now I actually put that at the bottom. So I run them through my own workflow. And then at the bottom, I would actually add them to my main list. And this one, I actually had it up top. I don't do that anymore. So each one of these down here is, so when somebody comes into a workflow, they subscribe to your list. So if they hit that form, they're going to go on to that email list, right? And so from there, it's going to say, you have these options. So if I want to say, send an email as the next step, we have an email right here. And you can time these. So you can build a new one. Doesn't make sense to do this because it's actually going to, that is the next step, is to have this email here. So this is the email. You do have ability to delay them. So you don't want to send somebody 7 emails in one day, right? You're going to time those over a couple week period or a 5-week period, whatever you choose to do. You have conditions and you have actions. So let's just look at the email. So this is one that I built, and this is what I love about Flowdesk is you got the visuals. Like, isn't this fabulous? And if they purchase my self-hypnosis video or audios, this is what they would get. And here is a button in here that allows them to get that. And if I click on that, so each one of these little pieces is their own little block. And you can choose, I'll show you how to build your own. We'll do that later. But this is what it looks like inside. Here's my Instagram piece. You can put these buttons in here. I have my signature in here. And so this button, I just want to show you how these buttons work. You can change the colors on them, the styles, all those things, left, right, center, the fonts. Now here's the link. Now I happen to use an Amazon sort of bucket list. You could have it in your Google Docs. You can actually attach the file right here. So I happen to do it over here so I can kind of control a little bit more of what's happening in my world. But you can simply attach the file right here. I like people to, you can do it either way. Either way is going to work fine. But it helps to, I like the button because it actually gets them to take an action step. And then it pops up and that audio is there. Now, and it's more of a visual too. So that's what they look like. Make sure you press the finish button or else it's not going to save all the things that you do in here. But let's go build an email, for instance. Okay, I want to go back to the beginning. But that's how a workflow works. And you can put email after email, put a pause in there of a day or two, and then put another one in. I'm not going to get into all the details of how you build that workflow in relation to a freebie. That's not the point of this. This is actually to show you how to use Flowdesk. So here's all my emails that I have going on right now. And if I wanted to do a new email, there's tons of templates in here that you can use. And if you wanted to make money, if you've got a Shopify store, you can link in those actual items. You can see like this is actually coming in, and you can link those things in. You can say thank you. I do this once in a while. I just say thank you for being on my list, and I appreciate you. Gratitude is huge. Gratitude runs deep, you bet. Up in your email game, this is sequences again. There's tons, or you can just start from scratch. So you can do a plain text one. These are really great. They help open rates a little bit because sometimes the visuals of some of them, if you have a lot of graphics in there, can slow things down a bit. Inspiration, lots of different ways to do them. I use this one actually a fair bit, which is my logo at the top and my email signature. But on my regular weekly ones, I do like Storyteller's newsletter, so you can do a full newsletter in here. There's tons of different ones. They're super easy to use. So let me just see. I'm going to grab one. Let me just choose one. Let me just see. A personal story. What to expect. What looks good right now? And this is everyone loves a freebie, so you can use that one. An offer is ending. Here's a sale. Let me just look at this one. I haven't looked at this one, so I want to actually go look at it. So we're going to customize it. You're going to learn with me at the same time for a moment. Now, here you're just going to bring in a big picture. So if this is a sale that you're doing, you can actually put in the picture of the sale of whatever it is. But I'm just going to show you how easy it is to throw a picture in there. And so let me just see. So you have a flower shop, right? And this is super easy to use. Let's just do this. So isn't that beautiful? Oh, I like some of these flowers actually. Jeez, where can I get some of those? This happens to be for an online course, so that quite doesn't correspond, right? But you could put in here for my flowers, shop now. Now this could be linking straight to either your sales page for your course, if that's what it was, or it could be maybe to your Shopify store, right? And excuse me, losing my voice. It's got a coupon code in here, but these buttons you can use for all sorts of things. I use them in my Be Inner Circle group to be able to give the link for the live for that week. So they just have to click on that and it's the Zoom link. And if there's certain downloads for them for that week, there's freebies I deliver for them. That's where I put all those links in there. And this is where you can bring in your social media block stuff. And it's super easy to use. And a lot of this is drop and drag, but if you just go in here, you just double click on it and you just type away. And if you wanted to add, change this out again, different blocks like this flower block up here, if you go into this one, if you go into block or layout, I should say, it has all different layouts you can do. So if you didn't like this one, you could go try something else. Super easy. This one, if you do a layout, maybe you want to put a testimonial here or something like that, like this one. You can throw a testimonial in there. Super easy to use. Again, just click on the picture if you want to upload a picture. Very, very easy. Make sure you press next once you've got it the way you want it. This is who it's coming from that you set up earlier. Subject line. It's really important to use really great subject lines that are going to entice people to open their email. Now this preview text, there's a lot of conflicting information on this. I read something one day recently, which it actually worked, I found for myself. Preview text is going to be that next line underneath things. I find when I don't put a preview text in and just a really great headline with maybe a couple of emojis, it stands out more. When you have all that in there, it doesn't stand out as much, I find. And I learned that from somebody else sometime last year, and it's been helping for me. So you put your subject line in here, your little emoji buttons in here if you want to put some smiley, whatever is relevant to that. Press continue. Now here's where you add your segments. You can add a segment I don't want it to go anywhere, so let's just try this mini B. You can exclude people. So when I do, if I'm doing a really heavy promotion for, say, B Inner Circle, I'm going to exclude all the people that are already in B. So they're not getting it over and over and over, because sometimes when you're doing a promotion, you're going to have a series of emails over that time span, right? And then what you're going to do is do save and then continue. And then you can do a test, send a test to yourself, check it out. I always recommend that. See what it looks like, make sure the links work. You can schedule it for later, pick a date and time, or do now. I'm not going to click any of those because I don't want to do this. It's going to ask you to confirm sending now like 3 times, I believe it is. And that's all you got to do, and then off it goes. And I really suggest, sending a couple emails to yourself first to get used to what it looks like, test it out, and really get familiar with it. Now here's a couple things. I can delete this. So if I click these 3 little buttons up here, I can share it in a browser. I can get a shareable link to it. I can edit it. I can duplicate it. I duplicate mine all the time. So like for B, here's the September B. I do one every month at the start of every month for my members. And what I do is I actually just click on this and I duplicate it. And I'll just duplicate it for October because a lot of my same links are in there, the things that I need on a regular basis. It's got a structure, a format, and so I'm not recreating the wheel all the time. I have one for my podcast. Every time I release my podcast, I just duplicate it. So I'm not recreating the wheel. It's got the template that I like just the way it is. My 2-minute transformations, which is my weekly newsletter, that has a certain format to it. And I can just duplicate it. Super, super easy. So I'm going to delete this one. You can add these to folders. You can rename it. I'm going to delete this one because I don't want it to go anywhere or do anything with that. But what I will show you is the stats. So let's be in September. I'll look at this one. This is just an invite I just did for a workshop I'm doing. And you can just, if you click on view results, I'll show you what happens on here. So this is what it looks like. I just sent this out. And for just sending this out, it's a pretty good open rate of 26.5%. Usually I'm about just over 30%, which is pretty good for industry standards. You can see up here, 7 clicks. And that is how many people clicked on the links in there and the buttons to register for my event. And this is kind of the industry standard, which is not very good, actually. You want this to be higher. This is sort of industry standard, which is pretty low. If I have events going on where people are like in the event and engaged, this will be up to 80, 90%. It shows how much is on mobile and how much is on desktop. Really great stat to have. And 98.3% out of percent of my emails were delivered. So now I'd go back and I might look at, okay, who's bouncing? Are they not valid email addresses? Maybe I need to do a little bit of email cleanup. And it hasn't bounced. There's no spam. You don't want to end up in spam. You don't want people marking yourself as spam. So keep it clean, people. Hey, you don't like getting spammy things, so don't put it out there yourself. Be authentic. Build proper relationships with people. Because that's what this is about. It's building a know, like, and trust factor. That's why you have email systems. So let's go back to this. There is some more analytics over here. And there's for all different. And just so you know, too, I have a workshop going on, which I'm running directly to my website right now. So it's actually not even flowing into Flowdesk. I chose not to do that for a reason. I was testing out some stuff. I will say the Flowdesk does have a couple limitations, so I'll be upfront on that. When I bring people into a sequence, when I'm doing a workshop, I change a lot of the things in my sequence as my workshop is going on. I can add commentary. I can add more links. I can, I need to run it live almost. And to do that in Flowdesk in a workflow does not work that well. I can preset all those individual emails and change them on the fly. I just simply do it on my website for now, for that one particular workshop. When that workshop is over, whoever has not unsubscribed, because I want to do it legitimately, I bring over into here and I'll upload it all into my general email list when we're done that sequence over there. So I've only got two in the last 30 days because I'm actually not running anything that's actually going to bring people into my emails at this point. These are for integrations. You can see when I've actually used it for, I was doing a workshop in March and I had lots of people going and I was doing lots of promotions for freebies and for various things that you could upsell into. Forum opt-ins, these are straight off of like my websites and things like that. Manual entry, there's nothing, there's a few in here. Those are usually if I've done an event or something like that. New subscriber unsubscribes. In the last 30 days, I've had 4 people unsubscribe, which is not too bad. I believe an industry standard on that was somebody said it was like 10% of when you have a continually people coming and going off your list, it's about 10% turnaround, which I try and do less than that. And these are all the people on all my lists. You can see the click rates, open rates. You can see like it's like 80% on things that I've got active people going on with. That was a beta I did. I had 100% open on that. That was a Dream, Believe, Achieve Society mini membership I was doing. Catalyst was a program. These were just very specific things I was testing out. So that's what it looks like overall. Analytics are pretty good. That's something fairly new to Flowdesk, which I'm grateful that they have. And if you've enjoyed this, let me know if you have more questions, put things in the comments. And there's a link below if you wanted to use that. Remember, it is an affiliate link. So I'm being transparent on that. Love the platform. It is, I stay with it because it has some really great optics to it. I love the visuals of their emails. You know, if you're going into email lists of hundreds of thousands of people, it might not be what you want because you're going to be very strategic about how you're using those email lists and getting into things like ConvertKit and can't think of all the names, but there's 3 or 4 out there that are very, very email list driven for being able to slice and dice things a million ways and redirect things and deeper analytics, things like that. But for where I'm at in my business and how I have more of a boutique style business, it works beautifully for me. So I hope you've enjoyed this and got some value out of it. Thanks for listening in.